In today's Torah portion, we learn an amazing lesson, a lesson that's relevant to all of us at all times, especially now in this final generation. And the message is it's not too late. Hashem is awaiting you, and you can still make things right. And we learn this lesson from what happens literally today in the Torah portion of the day. So just to emphasize, when I say it's not too late, and it's relevant to all times, it is relevant to all times, but in a sense it's relevant until the Messiah comes, because once the Mashiach, the Messiah comes, we've completed our mission, and we're going to receive the reward, and we're going to enter a new era. So generally this applies until the Messiah comes, which is coming very soon, and we don't know when it will happen. It could happen today, so we have to grab this opportunity. Maybe an aspect of it will still exist when the Messiah comes, but the main aspect of this is until the Messiah comes, this idea of it's not too late. And I've explained that before, but let's get into the main idea. What happens today in today's Torah portion? So in today's Torah portion, previously in the Torah, the Jewish people brought the Passover sacrifice, the Passover offering, the Pesach offering, where they roasted the lamb and they brought an offering to God. Now it happened that some of the people, when they did the offering, were ritually impure. They were not able to bring the sacrifice because they were impure. Impure could be for multiple reasons, but the main reason is that they were dealing with a dead body. And when one has a dead body, touches a dead body, they have a impurity, and they're not allowed to bring a sacrifice until a certain amount of time passes, and they're able to immerse in a mikveh, in a ritual spring water of natural waters, and immerse themselves, and then they are purified from the impurity. But as long as they're impure and they have this impurity, they're not allowed to bring the sacrifice to God. So these people, some of them were carrying the bones of Joseph, of Yosef HaTzadik, our forefather, or one of the 12 tribes, our holy forefather, or foreuncle, Joseph. And his bones were being carried because he requested that he be buried in the Holy Land. So they brought the bones to be buried in the Holy Land, because he passed away a few hundred years before. So whoever was carrying his bones was obviously doing a great mitzvah. They were dealing with the holy burial of such a righteous person, a tzaddik, and it's a very holy action. But nonetheless, they had an impurity of a dead body from just being in contact with a dead body, a corpse, and they were not able to bring a sacrifice. There are others who, for other reasons, had impurities, and others that were dealing with their families' burials, family members of theirs, who were also impure, that they were dealing with the burial of their family members, which is also a mitzvah. So they came to Moses and they complained. They said, "Why can't we bring the sacrifice?" They were sad. They're like, "Why can't we bring the sacrifice? We were impure, but why should that disqualify us from being able to bring a sacrifice?" So Moses said, "That's a good question. Let me ask God." And we learned that Moses actually had direct speed dial to God. He was such a high-level prophet that he was able to speak to God and ask God questions, and God would respond to him. What's so impressive about this? He's a prophet, right? Well, he's a special prophet. The other prophets were only able to receive visions from God or messages from God when God spoke to them. And at times they could respond to God and maybe receive a response from God, but they couldn't necessarily just speak first to God and get a response. They had to receive the prophecy from God when God saw it as fit. But Moses was such a high-level prophet that he was able to actually speak to God first, and God would answer him. He had direct access to God. So he asked God, he said, "Let me ask him." And God said, they're right. They can bring a sacrifice on the next month on the same day, exactly 30 days later. On the 14th, on the 14th of a month later of the month of Iyar. And this is called Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. And this message teaches us, very simply, that it's not too late. That even if you think you missed something, you missed the chance, God is giving you a second chance to return to Him. And we learn this from Pesach Sheni, that they complained, and Moses said, he asked God, and God said they are correct, they can bring one. And God obviously did this in order to teach us a lesson that it's not too late. If you find yourself alive right now, it means God is giving you an opportunity. He's giving you a chance to make things right. Don't miss the opportunity, because eventually the Messiah will be here, and we hope for it, but then we won't have the same free will. So now in these final moments, guys, it is the opportunity of a lifetime to give all we've got to Hashem. God bless you all.